What up, guys? Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of Dear Chiquis. It's my new weekly episode where I get a chance to connect with listeners. It's seriously my favorite part of the week. I love hearing from you guys and guiding you through some of the issues and challenges that you're facing. Just a reminder to all my listeners that these are my thoughts and opinions on the questions that are being submitted. I encourage everyone to seek help from a professional if you're suffering an issue or hardship that requires immediate attention. Okay, so let's hop right into the first question. This one is from Celeste or Celeste.
Hi, Chiquis. My question for you is, do you ever struggle with not crossing the line between mothering your siblings and trying to keep that sister role? I love my siblings so much. There's also 5 of us. We love and respect one another, and we have such a tight bond, but I've always taken care of everyone and their needs before mine. I simply and genuinely want to have a sister relationship with them, not a motherly one. But I've played that role for so long that I almost don't know how to separate the two. Any advice?
Well, Celeste or Celeste, I totally understand. As you know, it sounds like I'm the oldest of 5. So yes, I have suffered with not crossing that line. I think it's just inevitable, especially if you're the oldest, if you're always the one to care for your siblings. It's hard not to want to be that mother and take care of them and make sure they're okay all the time. But we cannot forget about ourselves. It took me a long time to understand that. And it took my sister Jenica to tell me that she needed a sister, not a mother, that she needed to figure things out on her own and all of that. And I didn't understand it. It hurt my feelings so much, but I thank God for that all the time because it really gave me the freedom to live my own life as well and respect their boundaries and respect their authenticity and who they want to become and that they're going to make mistakes and let them. Sometimes they have to fall. I know I have to fall sometimes to learn. So it's not like, okay, well, I'm going to forget about you for the rest of my life. No, it's okay. I'm here, arm's length away. I love you from afar, not too far. You know what I mean? But I love you. I'm here. And if you fall and if you need me to help you get up, I will. It's a lot easier said than done for sure, but it's possible. I think that just telling yourself, hey, I want to be that sister and not that mother. They have a mother already. If they need advice, I will be here. I will give them the best that I can in every way. But don't forget about yourself. For sure, don't forget about yourself. It's important because if you don't take care of yourself and your needs and your mental health, then how are you going to help them? So it's a process and it's going to take some time, but you got this, and it's not leaving them and abandoning them. That's not what you're doing. You're just giving them their space to grow and their space to fly and their space to just evolve and become who they're meant to become. So thank you for your question, and I hope I helped. Alrighty, our next question comes from Kelly.
Hi, Chiquis. First of all, congratulations on all your many successes. I'm a big fan of yours. I appreciate how much you show respect for yourself and the message that you bring. But my question is, I lost my mother at a pretty young age. I was 12, and I find it difficult to keep her memory alive for myself and for my kids. Do you have any recommendations as to like how you keep your mom's spirit alive? Not necessarily like the public persona that your mother had, but the personal one. Thank you. Love and respect.
Oh, Kelly, thank you. Thank you for your question. Look, it's going to be 10 years since I lost my mom. And I sometimes get that fear of, oh my gosh, am I going to forget her? Sometimes I get so busy with life that I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even talked to my mom today. Or you know what I mean? Like it just happens. It's never going to heal completely, that wound. And I always say this, it'll never be easy. It'll get easier. And it's just because that's how life is. We get older. You lost your mom at 12 years old. And I'm really sorry about that because you were so young. And I think it doesn't matter how old we are. We're always going to need our parents. And what I do personally is I have pictures of my mom everywhere. I have a few tattoos that represent my mom. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to go get a tattoo, but I'm just telling you what I've done that helps me. On her birthday, we sing happy birthday to her. Doesn't matter. I want to do that for the rest of my life, even when I have kids, especially when I have kids. So it's that. It's going to the cemetery if you can, if you have an urn with her ashes. I'm not too sure what the situation is, but I go when I can to the cemetery and just little things like that, and speaking to my nieces and nephews about her all the time. Most of my nieces and my nephews actually didn't meet my mom, but they know very well who she is. But because we speak to them about her all the time, they know Abuela is in heaven and she's taking care of us and she's an angel in our life. And I think when you do that, it's kind of just knowing like they're here, but not here. You know, they're angels. They're always with us. It just helps me so much. And I have the blessing of having my mom recorded because of the reality show that we did and everything. For me, it's so important to try to like hear her voice, and not her singing voice, but her voice, my mom's voice, you know. Hopefully you do have at least one video of your mommy, but if not, that's my suggestion. Just have pictures of her, have a picture of her in your car, speak to her as much as you can. Sometimes in the car, I'll be like, Mom, help me get to my destination safely, and I'll listen to songs that I dedicate to her. You know what I mean? I'm constantly doing my best to have that communication with her because I truly believe that she's here in the spirit world. Hopefully that helped. I'm sending you a very, very big and tight hug. Okay, so our last question is from Ruby. Let's listen to her question now.
Hi, Chiquis. How are you? My question is, what do you feel helps you stay grounded?
Ruby, what helps me stay grounded? Okay, so always remembering where you come from, where you started, that personally helps me. It's like we had humble beginnings with my mom. We lived in a garage. Like, it's just knowing and valuing even that part of my life and what I have now helps me every single day. My faith in God, I think just humbling myself before God and knowing that there is a stronger force out there that's protecting me. You know, that's why I choose to get on my knees to pray, because it's kind of like, okay, me estoy acomendando a Dios. I'm like putting myself in God's hands. Sometimes, I mean, I go as literal as walking barefoot on my grass, you know, and I rub my feet and I ground myself that way, or I rub my feet together if there's no grass around. And it just kind of just sets the intention of being grounded. But I think, especially in like the world that I'm in and the business that I'm in my career, I've seen it with other people where, yes, they become really big and very famous and they have all this popularity and all this fame, and they forget their essence, like who they are and what they're really meant to be here for. And that's why every single day, even this podcast, it reminds me that I'm just a human, just like you guys, and I'm going through my experiences, and I have a bigger mission than even myself, you know what I mean, on this earth. So that grounds me as well, like knowing that I have that responsibility that I choose to have because I want to help. So a lot of little things. Hopefully that helped, Ruby, and answered your question. Thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. I feel a lot closer to you all. I really hope my advice helps. I know I've already mentioned this, but I'm going to say it again. These are my thoughts and opinions on the questions that are being submitted, okay? I encourage everyone to seek professional help if you're suffering an issue or hardship that requires immediate attention. I love you all, and I'll see you next week here on Dear Chiquis. Los amo. This is a production of iHeartRadio and My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcasts, and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.